Hello everyone. Hello.
चालू करना लाइव वहाँ
Hello. Hello everyone, and very good morning to one and on this ICR Day celebration. We'll begin today with the garlanding ceremony of our masters. I request Nikita ma'am, Mosina and Nandini to do the felicitation. I request KMD sir to begin this day with his thoughts. I request all of us to stand for the prayer. शक्ति देना, मुश्किलें पड़े तो हम पे इतना कर्म कर, साथ दे जो धर्म का चलेंगे धर्म पर, खुद दे हौसला रहे बदी से ना डरे, दूसरों की जैसे पहले खुद को जय करे, हमको मन की शक्ति देना। Now I request Dr. KMD sir to start this day.
Good morning, everybody. On this auspicious occasion, when we celebrate the joint birth anniversaries of our two masters, 14th January, July and 21st July. And we try to always observe these ICR Day and Founders Day with some new insights that we develop through our clinical or research work. And this time, we have a great opportunity because we have set up an infrastructure which we are feeling is state of the art as far as the homeopathic world goes. So we have an NICU, and in this NICU we are able to cater to a number of vulnerable infants and neonates, which ordinarily a homeopath will be finding it difficult to administer. And through looking at how we are able to manage difficult conditions, we are able to explore the basic application of principles which we know only from the textbooks. And we are also able to understand what are the limitations of the same. And it is great that over the years we have built up considerable expertise with people like Nikita, Mosina, the current pediatric students who have been working in the NICU under the consultation of Dr. Bipin and Dr. Chandrasekhar. So it is fortunate that today we are getting this opportunity. I am thankful that Mosina has come from Kolhapur to attend to this function and to share her experiences. So without any further delay, I will request the team to go ahead with their presentation. Kindly keep a watch on whatever important questions that are coming up so that we can have a useful question answer session at the end. Thank you.
Good morning all. On this auspicious day, and we are celebrating the birth anniversary of both our masters. I mean, whatever experiences the team is going to share, they are not something out of box. They are just applying a common homeopathic principles in a given situations. The problem with all of us is that we look at complexities and we think complex. What is basically needed is to think simple, approach simple. And I would request all of you to keep track of all the cases, understand the processes, And at the end, if required, we will have some interactions, if at all it is, we have time left. So without delaying further, I would give it to Nikita, who has worked day in and day out last 1 year. I think she has hardly taken a day off. I don't remember many leave applications coming into our inbox. Dr. Prashant Barobar. So she is there. She is there in casualty, she is there in the floor, she is there in NICU. And she is there for the students, both playing a role of their father and mother. Nurturing them emotionally and also being strict with them. And all this is outcome of that handling of Dr. Nikita there. Mosina is here only on one call. With her experience as a medical officer, we wanted her to share what she also went through. And one of our pediatric student, Dr. Nandini, who is part of the team, she has observed the NICU management starting from when Mosina was there. So she was there as an observer when Mosina was medical officer. And now she has worked day in and day out with Nikita. So I think this team will be able to deliver of the last 3 years of some experience, and majority of experience is last 1 year built up by Nikita's effort and our new pediatric team, who is continuously referring these children and the mother to our center. So I hand it over to Nikita. All the best.
Good morning to one and all, and a very warm welcome to all the esteemed members of MLDO organization, MLD MHI and ICR family. Today on this auspicious day of ICR Day and Founders Day, we would like to share our experience of role of homeopathy as adjuvant therapy in holistic management of the mother and child unit, perceiving the totality, the approaches and the strategies. I will start with the blessings of our master, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, and I would like to go down to our gurus, Dr. M.L. Dhavle and Dr. L.D. Dhavle, who have been pioneers of scientific restructuring of the practice of homeopathy, and they are the propagators of evidence-based research and homeopathic practice. With this, I would like to share the objectives that we are going to go through this day. To understand the various facets and demands of postnatal care of mother and child as a unit, to understand mother and neonate as a unified functioning unit sharing intimate biological, psychological and social relationship, to understand the evolution of susceptibility of the mother and child as a unit in the prenatal, perinatal and the postnatal period, to devise an approach of management of this unit, to understand the importance of history taking and the observations made in the ward in perceiving the totality and understanding the differential materia medica, to assess the susceptibility of the unit through an integration of understanding the evolution of the mother and child as a unit, and last but not the least, to assess the role of homeopathy as an adjuvant therapy in the holistic management of this unit. I would like to share the current scenario which is there in India and in Palghar at this moment of time in area of postnatal care. We have a very high maternal mortality rate and a neonatal mortality rate and a high morbidity. This is all because the vulnerable group of patients are not able to afford the private hospital, and the NICU care can be very expensive. There are poor resources, there is lack of accessibility to affordable and holistic care in the mother and child unit. Of course, there are local institutions where deliveries are nowadays taking place, but they have very poor referral services. And in very internal areas, there are still home deliveries about 33%. So all the vulnerable, high-risk neonates and mothers, they go easily into complications. In such a scenario, in around 60 kilometers of the radius, this is the only tertiary NICU unit which is catering to all these vulnerable patients. With this, I would like to share the first case which we have seen, which is coming up from such a vulnerable group. In May 21 in the evening, a tribal woman who was now G for gravida, and she was a 25-year-old female with a bad obstetric history. Two of her first children died in the neonatal period at the 8th day and at the 4th day. Now she has only one live child, and she came to us in emergency, referred from Bhopali Hospital in view of an emergency LSCS. The LSCS was done. A baby, healthy female baby of 2.1 kg was delivered. But the mother had low HB, as we have seen very commonly in the tribal area. So the blood transfusion was given to her. She developed chills. She had a turbid concentrated urine at night, and the urine output was low. The next day, she developed icterus. There was dark colored urine with low urine output. On examination, she was afebrile, other vitals were stable. The systemic examination also had no findings. We came to the conclusion that we'll go with the investigations. When we saw that even after giving 2 pints of blood, her HB was still low. It was only 9.6 gram. The total count was raised. There was neutrophilia, though there was no thrombocytopenia, and the liver function test and the kidney function test. They showed mixed hyperbilirubinemia with elevated liver enzymes and with a high serum creatinine. What should we think of now? Yes, it is a blood transfusion reaction probably, because there has been hemolysis and the HB has further gone down in spite of giving the transfusion. At this point of time, with this clinical state, we had another challenge. The mother was not willing to breastfeed the baby. She had this fear that she would transmit her illness through her breastfeed to the child. So she went into mastitis. She had hot, painful, tender breasts, and the formula feeding was to be started for the baby. Next day, there was further deterioration of the clinical condition. Though she was clinically asymptomatic, what we saw in the ward on examining her was very devastating for the team. The icterus had deepened all over the body. There was reduced urine output and the color of the urine. Please see the further color with what it has come to and what it was earlier. And now the pedal edema also started. The obstetrician had almost panicked and said that we need to refer her to a higher center because she was suspecting of an acute fatty liver of pregnancy.